All right, guys, so now we're going to take a look at this note catcher, this chart down here, and see what it means. So we know that our task is to answer our prompt the best that we can using the text set. You're going to pick a text from your text set. You're going to put the title here, so an obstacle, arachne, whatever you choose. And then we're going to work through what I see, what I think, what that is. So let's read first what these things say, and then we'll do an example together. So what I see, it says, this is where you list the evidence from the text, direct quotes or paraphrase, we're going to try for direct quotes, that relate to the topic. This will become your evidence, okay? So I'm going to look here for any direct quotes that maybe relate to my prompt. So again, if the prompt is about how this person overcomes obstacles or the definition of resilience, any of those things, boom, I'm going to find quotes here that go through that, okay? Then we're going to go to the what I think category. This says this is where you explain the evidence you found and how it relates to the topic of your paragraph. Essay ultimately, but it'll be a paragraph. This will become your analysis, okay? And we'll talk a little bit more about what that means once we find a quote, but here you'll take a moment to explain what it means. And then finally, what that is, this is where you take your thinking and summarize it into a short word or phrase. This will become your point. Now, this seems a little bit confusing at first, like what does this mean? Let's use A Wonderful Story, which I love, as an example. So let's say that our prompt is about obstacles that the person overcomes, right? I'm going to go to the lovely Goldilocks. You can see here there's a very exciting reading of it if you choose to Google this on your own. But I'm going to use the story Goldilocks to go through and say, okay, what does this person do to overcome obstacles, okay? So right here, we can see it down here, boom, we have an obstacle. This porridge is too hot. She broke into the bear's house, right, which I just love. She just goes in there, does what she wants, and she's eating their food, and it says, this porridge is too hot, she exclaimed. That's an obstacle. So what did she do? She tasted porridge from the second bowl. Awesome, so I'm going to copy and paste that into my note catcher. I would do the same thing with my text set here. All right, so I'd say she tasted the porridge from the second bowl. Awesome, that's easy. Then I need to think about what this means. This is going to be the analysis. So I know that she's overcoming obstacles. What does the fact that she goes from one bowl, which is too hot, to the next bowl, what does that tell me about Goldie? Well, I'll say this shows that she is not going to let anything stop her. Pretty easy, right? Okay, she's like, I don't care, I'm hungry, I'm going to get food. That's going to be your analysis eventually. Don't worry too much about making it fancy today. Just for now, fill out that part of the chart, okay? And then finally, the what that is. So I know that she had porridge. I know that she moved on, which shows that she's not going to stop. What can I say? Like, what's one word to talk about either that character trait or that action? What's one word to describe that? Well, when I look at that, I would say that she's determined, okay? And I'm going to put that in there if I could type, right? So determined, determination, whatever. That's going to be one set right now of my what I see, what I think, what that is. My question was, how did the character overcome obstacles? First, here's an obstacle that I saw. Second, I talked about what that meant. And finally, one word to describe that. If this was a paragraph, it's going to read kind of opposite, right? So it would say something about first, the character Goldie overcomes obstacles by determination. In the text, it said she tasted the porridge from the second bowl. We could explain why that was important, right? After tasting that's too hot. Analysis, this shows that she's not going to let anything stop her. We'd get a little deeper, okay? But ultimately, guys, it's a skeleton right now of your essay or of your paragraph for each text. Remember that you're going to pick 4 different texts to do this to, and we're going to try for at least 5 examples from each text. If that's not happening, let me know, that's okay. But we want a lot to pick from because when we go to write our essay, we want a lot of strong examples. We don't want to just let it hang, okay? So I hope this helps, guys. If you have other questions or you need help, please let me know and we will make sure to have that happen. Happy reading and writing.